I have something to tell you. You're not winding down. You're not over the hill. And despite what the retirement industry wants you to believe, you aren't entering your golden years of shuffleboard and early bird specials. Unless you're my brother David. He actually likes to eat dinner at 4:30 p.m. now. I'm Steve Gershik, and this is Your Third Third.
Don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years. I'm still standing better than I ever did. It's real love. Don't need to fight to prove I'm right. And I'll keep this world from dragging me down. Gonna stand my ground.
If you're here, you're probably in your 50s or 60s, and you've felt that quiet, annoying glitch in your head. Maybe you're restless. Maybe you just realized the map that society hands us ends right about here. If you're looking for a thought leadership hype or a slow motivational speech over soft piano music, you're going to be disappointed. This show is for people who want to age with intention instead of resignation. Now, here's my point of view. Life is really organized in 3 acts. Here's the simplest version of the life we were brought up to believe in. We spend the first third in the construction zone. We're learning the rules, the roles, how to perform. Everything's going inside. And then we spend the second third in the grind. These are the Costco years. We build careers, families, reputations. We run the script someone else wrote for us. We become the reliable person who always knows where the good scissors live in the house. But then the calendar changes. The kids launch or are launching. Their career peaks or starts to feel like a greatest hits tour that we're sick of singing. Your body starts filing formal grievances. My right hip currently has several open HR cases against me. And right there, the map disappears. Society tells us that our run is over, that it's time for maintenance and decline. Well, I don't buy it. I don't think slowing down is the risk. I think drift is the risk. Drift is how smart, capable people become smaller versions of themselves without noticing. This show is about the opposite of drift. This show is about design. Now, let me talk about a tool because I want to be practical in this show. I really don't like podcasts that spend 20 minutes unpacking a concept and 0 minutes telling you what actually to do. This exercise takes 5 minutes. Do it at your kitchen counter or with a cup of coffee that's gone cold. Draw 3 columns on a piece of paper. The first column is learned. This is your first third. What survival skills did you pick up? What made you more interesting than you were at 25? The next column is built. This is your second third. Your career, your family, your mainframe. Put it down as data, not as humble bragging to yourself. And then the third column is gave. This is your third third. What do you want to contribute? Not a legacy statement for a plaque, but a real thing. Time, mentorship, attention, creative projects, large talk. And I'll talk a lot about large talk during this show. If you do nothing else today, do that. It'll show you where you've been living on autopilot. Let's talk about the fear of your third third. And I want to be honest about the fear underneath all this. invisibility. It doesn't always look like sadness. Sometimes it looks like scrolling through LinkedIn at 2 a.m. or deciding you don't really feel like seeing anyone. We hit this stage and realize work used to organize our social lives. And when those structures loosen, you have to create connection on purpose. And that sounds easy until you realize your 57-year-old brain is still running software from when you were 16. You want to reach out, but that teenage voice starts whispering. What if they think I'm weird? What if they're too busy for me? Making friends over 50 can feel like middle school all over again, except now you're old enough to be embarrassed by it. This show's going to talk about that messiness. We'll talk about health, money, and why we keep saying we should grab coffee to people we never actually end up seeing. If someone comes on this show and says meditation is good for aging, I'm going to ask for specific 5-minute protocols for people who hate silence and have knees that creak without their consent. So why am I doing this show? Well, because my map also ran out. I spent my career in B2B marketing. I built road maps. I built sales funnels. I loved clarity, but somewhere in my 50s, I looked up and I realized that the script had run out. The world offers us 3 terrible options: decline, denial, or drift. I didn't want to wind down. I didn't want to pretend I was still 35, and I definitely did not want to drift. So I decided to apply the one skill I could trust: system design. If I could build a strategy for a company, I could build one for the rest of my life. Now, I'm not a guru. I'm a guy in the middle of it, currently trying to remember the word for measuring cup when I'm standing there in the kitchen. So what is the operating system? Well, it's design. Design beats drift, but design isn't a thought. It's a behavior. See, most people don't have a meaning problem. They've got a calendar problem. So let's take your gave column from that exercise and apply the one appointment rule. Pick one of the items in your gave column. Or if you're listening to this while you're driving or while you're walking the dog, ask yourself, what's the smallest action that makes the future you want to live in real in the next 7 days? Then schedule it. Put it on the calendar, not as a maybe, not as a tentative, but as an appointment with the person you're becoming. If it's friendship and connection, send the text now. If it's creativity, block out 30 minutes for that ceramics class or for writing your morning pages. Here's the trap among many people our age that I see. You might hesitate because you're afraid of being bad at things. You know, at our age, we're kind of addicted to being the expert. We love the dopamine hit of knowing the answer. But what I'm realizing is this: aliveness doesn't live in mastery. It lives in the places where we're clumsy and a beginner. So stop letting your competence run the show. Go find something to be bad at this week. And finally, this show is for the people who have built a life that looks fine on the outside. Maybe pretty okay, but you still feel a hunger for more aliveness. And you don't need a new you. You're not a branding problem. You need an integrated you. You need to take the wisdom that you've earned in your life and use it to write a better script. So here's your assignment before our next show. Do the 3 columns exercise. Follow that one appointment rule. And maybe visualize. When you're 80, what will you be glad that you did now? If that question stings, good. Now consider subscribing. If you want to come along for the journey. I'd love to hear from you one day. You can find me at Substack at Your Third Third. I publish one article a week. I try to make it reflective of my personality and not pedantic or academic, but I do read a lot of academic studies. You can find me on TikTok, believe it or not, at Your Third Third. I film crappy videos there from time to time. I'd love to turn this into a conversation over time. I'm Steve Gershik, and this is Your Third Third. Let's make these next decades intentional together.